allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Participate. Wayne, will you up there?
Pardon? You want me at first?
Yep.
All right.
Get up there.
My name's Wayne Cooper. I live on Bloomfield Street, right across from the elementary school. And on March 31st, the supply line going to my toilet tank upstairs bathroom broke off. And I'm guessing water probably run for about 4 hours. And
You'd like a water adjustment.
yeah, I need a water adjustment. I don't know, I guess I haven't seen my newest water bill, so I don't know how much for sure it's gonna be. I'm assuming it's gonna be quite a bit.
What they do is they get started for the water, but you won't be charged for the sewer.
Okay.
Sewer usually, is that right?
Correct.
So, anybody got an objection to that being adjusted? It'll be adjusted.
Okay, thank you.
Now this bill that you get, when you get it, it might not reflect on this, but we'll get it worked on with Trina.
Okay, all right, thank
They've
you.
already known that.
The other public participation,
Are we on the agenda?
whoever participates.
Go ahead. Go ahead. On the agenda, it says beautification and flowers. Is that us or you?
It was on there from a previous meeting, I was gonna discuss it, but if you're here to discuss it, we'll discuss it when you're ready.
During that or now?
Either
Yeah, you
way.
can go right after.
Okay.
Not now.
I want to say something.
You go ahead.
This is a two-part thing.
This is Debbie Hickman and I'm Tony Kiesler.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Sure.
You said you did. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Gotta get my glasses on. Well, first of all, I talked to Judy and Dan, and because there weren't a meeting, we wanted to go ahead and get started, because we want, I guess most of you saw on Facebook, they were doing that adopt a pot, because there was nobody that really wanted to do the urns. So we do have all the pots adopted.
All right.
But there was a couple other things we wanted too. We wanted to be able to get, we didn't advertise it this way, but we wanted to have prizes. Make it kind of like a contest.
It's incentive to maintain in the
I
time.
forget what the categories were.
That doesn't matter at this time.
Well, we wanted 3 prizes of $50. I mean, we're gonna get something local, a business, I don't know what, or you guys might wanna say, if you say we can do it. You might wanna say what, but you know, I wanna keep it in town.
Who would be in charge of monitoring to make sure that they appropriately do the contest?
We'll take care of all of that.
Do you have an organization?
No, this is just 2 volunteers that have taken this on and wanted to do it.
So there were about 4 other pots, which are around, that aren't the urns. We kind of concentrated on the urns. So I had a couple ideas that I'm just gonna throw out that are my ideas. And I guess they're Tony's ideas too. Either get some shrubs to put in those little tiny dwarf type shrubs, or you may turn your nose up to this, but I got some. You can get the artificial shrubs. Medship used them, and they look really good, and you don't have to do anything to them. That would just be, and the lady at the post office is going to do that pot in front of the post office, because she's working on the other side where I used to do.
Yeah.
And it's been horrible for the last 2 years. And I guess the postmaster from Eaton came down and had a fit, and so they're paying her to do it, which I'm thrilled, because we have the stuff there, it just needs cleaned up. Then the other thing I wanted to propose is the gazebo flower garden. It's a very difficult garden to maintain. I think Jeff would probably testify to that. Yes. A lot of different people over the years have worked on that. And Helen worked her head off and she kept it very nice. But there's something in there, I don't know if someone planted it or if it came on its own. It's completely invasive. You can't hardly do anything with it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's like a vine.
It's a vine. So what I was thinking, if we could tear everything out, we could actually advertise, because there's some good stuff in there. If anybody wants to come and dig it up, and take something, go ahead. And then,
I would get a deadline on that.
Yeah, we'll have like a dig day, and if you're not there at the dig day, you don't get whatever.
right, and then, it needs dug up, and then it needs roundup. Because if you don't,
Kill it.
we gotta start from scratch. And then, I kind of drew a little diagram. I'm thinking something, not flowers, like you got your sign here and maybe a couple dwarf spruce or something on each side of the sign. It needs to have river rock or something in front of the sign because the sign's filthy right now where the rain's hit and it's all over the sign. And then I made a little diagram. On this, maybe on this side, have like a Japanese maple, and over here, some kind of a flowering bush, and then just stagger, like, out here I planted this miniature stuff, it gets about that tall, it's like a zebra grass. It's not real tall, but maybe that, and then like, well, I had said a boxwood, but Tony said the boxwood's got disease now. But I could go, somebody could, I would be happy to do it, but if somebody else wants to, like out to Preble County Nursery. Because there's a lime-colored bush. It doesn't.
Lime nursery?
Yeah, what did I say? Okay, well, so, yeah. And maybe like stagger, but then just mulch it all. And it would just be plain, no care.
And one and done, you don't do it yearly.
It would have to be, and put green down then before we plant, and then a thick coat of mulch. And then it would be no care, other than maybe mulch every year.
Yeah.
Don't we have money for this?
We have beautification funds. We were given over $11,000 from the beautification committee for
Yep.
the flowers. And I have had conversations with Rusty about planting bulbs to come back every year so that instead of planting flowers over and over and over, and it would help those funds last a little longer.
But it takes somebody, bulbs have to have care too.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, it takes care, which is why I've also been in Rusty and I have been in conversation, and that's one thing that's on the agenda now here is getting summer help for the work crew for just a contract to help with the weed eating and the flower beds and the trash cleanup and things like that. And that would, if that passes, that would be one of their responsibilities is to keep it clean and maintained through the warm weather.
It's up to you guys.
I think the
But I like-
less maintenance, the better.
Yeah.
I do too.
All the
I like the
flower
I like
trees.
your idea.
That's
I like
also.
They're a mess.
I would also, I forgot, I was also thinking, since there's electric already there, it'd be nice to put a landscape light under the bush, the tree, and the sign. It looks nice and it would like the sign in it and stuff.
So we have the money. I think that, you know, if you guys want to give us a receipt on how much this is going to
Well,
cost.
wait a minute, then there's more to it. Who's gonna?
Okay.
I'm happy to go, I've kind of designed this, Tony and I, and I'm happy to go find this stuff. But are we gonna ask Rusty and them to spray it and do it, or are we gonna hire someone to do
I
that?
knew my name would come up. I just knew it.
Well, I'm not saying you do it.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I can find a person, you know, that does landscaping,
What are you spraying, Dave?
Well,
Roundup, because you can plant it a couple weeks after you spray Roundup.
Because Rusty and I were just talking about grinding all that up and getting rid of, like, getting as much of that vine out as we can and putting Roundup in everywhere so
I
we
think
can
we
clean
need
it
to
up.
start.
We need to
Because
just
we
put
have to,
this,
like, it needs dug up and tore out and then
start over.
start over.
Might I suggest that you guys get with Rusty and Dave
And we'll
That would be-
work with them on it.
Post it on the senior center website and they do volunteer work around the Eaton parks all the time. There's a group up there at the senior center that would probably volunteer time. And
I'd rather
maybe
have Rusty and Dave
Dave.
myself.
And, you know, and I suggest using the beautification funds
Yeah.
for these projects. I'm not asking for, you know,
Right,
the
we've got
town
funds
action.
for that.
And another suggestion, the Veterans Park, there's all that stuff around that tree. It would look better if you can't maintain it, to just plant grass and mow it. I mean, unkept flowers don't look good. Grass looks good if it's mowed.
So last fall, that's when I told everybody, I'm done.
Well, I understand, and Helen, she worked really hard, but there's no one like Helen.
No.
And Helen,
When we took this on, I told everybody that it's more work than what everybody thinks.
oh, I know how much
Because you
work it
spend
is.
hours on the weekend in the 2 beds weeding. So, I mean, my wife would spend 2 to 3 hours on every
I know.
weekend pulling weeds. And, you know, then when I messed my foot up, I don't know if they got watered those few weeks.
How about,
But it was,
you guys will, if you want, you know, to say, hey, if somebody wants something, come and get it, put a deadline on it. When that's done, we'll go in there, we'll till it all up, get rid of everything that's there. Both places, we'll plant some grass seed over here.
If that's what they want.
Yeah, if that's
Just
what you
pick out what
guys.
you think would be best for low maintenance.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking low maintenance.
Give it whatever, wherever you want to order it from to Rusty and them. You know the rules, you can't just go and buy it and you can.
Oh, I know all
Yeah,
that.
so let them go ahead and go get everything and then,
I mean, per our October meeting, I know a couple of you weren't here, but per that meeting, we did make a motion, Jeff made it, to spend up to $2,000, and Judy had seconded that motion. I had emailed that to you guys, it was from the October 10/16/25 meeting. So I mean,
If we can get our stuff at the county line nursery, he really cuts us a discount.
yeah, but that motion was already made, can we just carry over that motion, since it's for the flowers? Wouldn't it be the same thing?
I think so, that's what it was voted. It's up to you guys.
I mean, do you think that would be
I
a
don't
good
know
budget?
the money.
I don't know till I go. Look, I mean,
So-
I can always say yes, and if I need more, I can come back and tell you. I don't think it would be more, but I did mine and it wasn't that much, but it's smaller. Because when you get going across the width, but I don't know how much, I don't think. it
And
would
the
cost.
way that the gazebo works, it's kind of slanted, so we
I know.
have taller stuff and then trickle down to shorter stuff. But, I mean, we've already voted for $2,000, so if it's more than
But we gotta get
2,000,
round up,
for us to-
and which I don't know, maybe you can just
I'll
get
get
that.
round up.
And I wanted to get preen before when you put the mulch down, and we gotta get mulch.
We, I mean, we'll be mulching everything anyway, so I
We don't mulch that good.
I won't.
Do you know how much is left on that line item in the budget?
No, I do not.
we have not been able to receive a financial statement, so hopefully we can get one of those real soon.
Because, you know, the former members of the beautification committee, you know, donated almost 11,000
Yeah,
with the understanding that it would be used for the flowers.
Absolutely.
yes.
And they're just wondering how much is left.
And it was, in that
And-
conversation, it was supposed to have its own line item.
And if it's not going to take place, you know, what
Understand any of that?
happens to the funds?
so we bought, that's what they brought. Startup flowers.
Did you guys prepaid in November of 2024, correct? When you guys ordered the
Did we
flowers?
prepay for those flowers?
Or that part
or
of
just
I know
ordered?
that Helen ordered them, but
They
I
were
don't
ordered, but I
know.
don't know if you had to pay on pickup,
Alan
but it,
placed the order, we had to send a check out.
I think,
For pickup?
not to interrupt, but me and Courtney went and picked them all up, and I think I gave them the check when I picked them
I
up.
think we
Yeah.
paid for them
So it
now
should,
when
it
we
should be
picked
easy to
them up.
find out how much is left to
Well, that,
deduct.
is that all we spent, was those flowers?
That's all we spent.
No, because I bought all the moms when we were replacing them.
What about the shrubbery? How do you feel about putting the shrubs in those other concrete pots and stuff that are around? I mean, do you want real ones, or do you, because they'll have to be watered in a pot, or do you want, I should have brought a picture. I've got an urn with an artificial, and you can't tell the difference.
We'd have a lot of the artificial ones, too many.
Well, that's what Ryan has, although he got tall ones, and he kind of, part of them blew away.
Yeah, I think one's missing.
There's one missing, and there's half of one missing.
Oh, no. I have a question. If we adopted out all the urns, then what are we using the flowers for that was ordered last year then?
They were not ordered.
They were-
Nobody placed the order. They passed the motion to do it and then it didn't happen.
Okay.
The order had to be placed by November 1st to receive.
Well, Tarina, I talked to Tarina, and she said she didn't order them because there was no one that stepped up to say they'd plant them, and she goes, I hated to order them and then them sit here and die.
I mean, we had worked it out to baby steps. It was just miscommunication all around that it just fell through the crack.
So going
But
forward,
we're going forward with this.
no, I'm saying like this year's taken care of, next season will, the money be used to purchase and maintain.
What's left out of that 11,000 will be used. And I mean, if we get more money in, I don't know if we're getting any more money in, but if we do, it would go just to that.
What about the prize money that we wanted? That would be
Well, that would come out of
$150.
the fund too, so it's not our money, it's.
How do you feel about the prize money?
Yeah, fine.
It is our money, so we have to watch.
We have to make a motion, so.
So I make a
Yeah, I mean,
motion to utilize
yeah.
$150 for the prices of the pots.
How many?
$350.
$50 a piece.
$150?
I'll second it. After all, that's what this money's supposed to be used for. So it doesn't.
Well, I had texted Shannon
Yeah,
last
it's your-
year,
all
and
your
she
people
said she thought it was a good idea, but she didn't want to be in charge of it, and if
Yeah.
I wanted to take charge. Well, in the wintertime, and
Yeah.
I didn't answer. I mean, I didn't say anything.
I think it's a great job for you to do.
$150
Well, Tony and I got together, it was her idea originally to have people do pots. They won't match, but I'm hoping to create where people are fighting together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good
Maybe
to
that's
try it
right.
out this year, see how it works. It's a good test year.
There are some people that are excited about it.
Yes,
You make
definitely.
the motion.
I made the motion,
We
Stephanie
have
will
a
second.
motion and a second.
I'll second it.
Roll call. Dan?
Yay.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Becky?
Yes.
Lily?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give it to
$150.
them.
Time's up, sit down.
Okay.
That's for Dave.
Are you done, Tony?
Yes.
Next.
Next.
You're not going to?
I won't be very long. Mayor, thank you. Good to see some familiar faces here. My name is Todd Smith. I used to be your state representative. I'm running for that office again. Somebody asked me, why are you running against Creech? I said, well, I'm not. I was running for this office for 10 months. He just jumped in trouble. So he's running against me. But running for the office again, and had made this decision a long time ago. Since I've seen you last, I was here actually a couple of weeks ago, Mayor, and I did not know that you were canceled, and I cried all the way home.
I apologize for that.
It's
A
okay.
lot of people
I
were
feel
sad.
bad.
It's the first time that's ever happened. That's a lie, I'm kidding. That happens all the time, it's very normal, so no problem at all. But since I've seen you last, I finished up a doctorate degree. I joined the National Guard at the age of 56. I'm now a chaplain with the National Guard serving in Connellsville, Ohio. And have a full life. I have a lot to do. I'm expecting my first grandchild this year. But I had a whole bunch of people call. This was an open seat, as you I'm sure know, which is why I jumped in, and then I just chose not to jump back out. Because I think we're facing some serious issues as a state, I think as a nation also, but as a state, also as local communities. I'm a pastor, been doing that at the same church for 29 years, and I had a lot of elderly people in my church. And when you talk to people who are on a fixed budget and they're really under a lot of stress because the house they bought 50 years ago and that they paid off 20 years ago, now on the fixed budget, they can't afford to live in their house. I know the property tax issue has been bandied around a lot, but this is a serious issue, and this will need serious people to deal with it. It's not something that you just hack out and throw away, especially for this county. Well, we're right there with Indiana, and they could go right over there. If we get rid of property taxes willy-nilly and have to raise our sales tax to cover that, it's going to destroy our local communities or small communities. So these are serious issues. Obviously, there's a whole lot of other stuff that's on the plate. I think it's going to take serious people to deal with that. People who've already proven they can do the hard work. I've already proven I can do that. I haven't been upstairs. I know I got a little bit of money for you guys. I don't know, is it finished? Dave said that.
No,
it's not.
It's not done.
But I've done the hard work. And I proved that I can do it. And so I've got a lot of other stuff in my life, but I'm jumping in. I stayed in the race because I feel like we need some serious people, too much. And I'll say this as a Republican, all right? I'm old enough to remember when Democrats held a number of statewide seats in this state. And if we think that, oh, it'll never happen again, we're fooling ourselves. We got to take a serious look at where we're at even as a party. As much as I might like Vivek, I'm going to see him Monday. I don't like the fact that our party 1 year ahead of us voting in a primary is telling us who we should vote for. If we don't turn some ideologies in our party around and start focusing back on serving the people and listening to the people, when we quit serving the people, they quit supporting us. So I'm saying as a state and even as a party, I feel like we need some serious people there to deal with these things, and I'm willing to do that. And so I'm staying in this race. If you have any questions for me, you know, I was the only state official that put my personal mobile on my state card. I'll do that again, because I want you to be able to call me and talk to me if you have any problems, any questions. Is it permissible, Mayor, if I leave a couple of handbills out here? So if you go out and you want one of these, you can have them. Because if it's okay with you, when I get done speaking, it's a drill weekend for me. Okay. I got to be at post at 7 a.m. all the way up in McConnellsville when I haven't started packing. And this is my height and weight, so I haven't eaten anything today. And so I got to do height and weight and all the tests. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to leave. So I'm asking for your vote, asking for your support. And like I said, on Facebook, you can find it there. I don't shy away from any questions. And too much of our time, my opinion, has been spent on fighting amongst ourselves as Republicans. Too much of our time has been spent on silly issues. And too much of our time has been spent on trying to prop up leaders who are not effective. We got to change that. And I hope you vote to change that. Any questions for me? It's great to see, like I said, people that I know, and great to see new people. That means this council is doing something right there. So God bless you.
We're working on it.
Yeah. I've always loved Camden. As a matter of fact, I come through here all the time to go fishing at Houston Woods. I just haven't had time to go fishing lately. Do you have any questions for me at all now? And is it permissible if I leave a couple handbills out here and you don't mind me going home? I wanted to hear about how the flowers ended. I wanted to hear that. But if it's okay, I will go home then.
You're fine.
You'll see them when you go through town to go fishing.
I will do. You guys have
Have a
always
great
kept.
evening.
You guys have always had a beautiful place here. And Dave's going to follow me up and talk about how great I am. Nice seeing you all. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Dave.
Next victim, huh? Well, I'm Dave Havers, you know. I do have some information. It's on ODOT. So we used to be in District 8. We just moved to District 7 last week. And so I've got a list, and I can give you guys this, of all numbers and contacts for ODOT. District 7. One thing about it, we will be with counties that are similar size. So grant and funding may be a little bit better that way. because we don't have to compete with Hamilton, Butler, Warren, Claremont, all the bigger counties to the south. So the only one we'll have to compete with is Montgomery, but we're all hooked in there together. Actually, the highway guy there, I can't remember his name, Kyle, actually lives in New Lebanon. So we've got close people. I mean, I had relationships with him in Lebanon, but this is even a little bit closer. So it's a change. If there's any projects going on right now, District 8 finishes them now. We're in District 7, so just wanted to bring that to your attention so you all have those. I mean, I've been on District 8, never got a sheet like that with everybody's phone number.
No.
What, do you know why they changed, why they redistricted?
So they moved Green up with us too, so it made it all similar. They wanted to group those counties together and made it all similar. And there's a few other little groupings around just to make the counties all similar in size. So we are based out of Sydney now, but the director is actually out of Troy. So Miami County, he's pretty easy to get hold of, so they've been quite a while. So the other thing I'm here for, I'm running for re-election for county commissioner. Many of you know. This is my 6th year. I was appointed in 21 and ran for election in 22 and running again this year. Just wanted to help finish up what I've got started. And we've had a lot of big issues through District 6. You guys aren't probably too familiar with, but it's been a pain for the county commissioners for a while. I was assigned that day 1. And so we're to the point where we're going to plants and the lines should be done in June, so we can start hooking everybody up. So we've done a lot of other things as commission. We started land bank back up. We helped with a project down here, and actually going to help with another one down the street there, clean up the house that they want to redo. So you know, it's been big. We've hit every corner of the county with that. And one thing, we talked about property taxes. We did roll back our inside millage at 0.5%, which amounted about $780,000 across the county of savings. We try to do whatever we can. We're a pretty tight commission. We like to stay that way. We're not spenders. And you know, I've done a couple other things. We had an investment company that was not treating us like they treated other counties. I was doing research on it. I didn't like what they were doing, so we got them out of that. And we actually, this is 20, in 23, we were only making about $900,000 a year interest. Last year we were 1.8. We converted a lot of them up to good earning bonds. And so just continuing working on that, trying to make the county a little money and save the county a little money all at the same time. So I'm endorsed by the sheriff and the FOP. So I've been law enforcement is with me. And one thing the FOP told me is they thought if this property tax thing goes through, that we don't have property taxes, they thought I would be able to help lead on what we're going to do with that property taxes. So, you know, it's coming up. I would hate to see it go. Townships, villages.
Some very volatile questions.
Yeah, you know, villages and townships will get hurt so bad. Now some villages could put on income tax levies to make up the difference, but you have to still get that voted in. So, you know, there's state law out there, schools have to be funded. So that could come from the state. It doesn't say township roads or fire departments or anybody else has to be funded. So when you sit and look at that, if we lost our property tax and the township, they'd be hurt between roads and fire, and everybody else would be hurt that way too. So
a lot of doors will be closed.
yeah, and you know, if you start messing with sales tax, just like he mentioned, where are you going to go? You know, and you know, 2-county area all the way around the state, they'd be going out of state, and it closed a lot of doors that way. And the big counties, you know, they have a lot of tax levies anyhow. You may not notice as much, but the small counties are the ones that get hurt because of all the necessary little funding. Because most townships operate on a shoestring anyhow. villages, you know, it's not like you got a lot of money sitting there. County budget, you know, we bring in, we've got about a $16 million budget every year. And if we don't have any inside money coming to it, that's where we start cutting. So it would be great if they had an idea what they were going to do when they brought it up to do away with it. Because if you don't have an alternative plan, there's nothing that should be done until you have an alternative plan. So I appreciate your support. You can, and I'll leave these brochures out here too.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have any questions or anything?
Thanks for coming.
All right, we'll see you guys. Thank you.
Here, I'm jumping now. My name is Michelle Bales. I am here on behalf of the Camden Comeback and Black Walnut Festival Committee. We need to ask the village for permission to, or we need to ask the village to host the Kids Zone for the Black Walnut Festival, as they do every year. They cover the insurance down there in that portion. And I guess maybe overall permission to have the Black Walnut Festival and be able to put it down the street. So,
Yeah, I make the motion that we
do the same thing we did
help
last
sponsor
year.
the Kids Zone and allow them to have a Black Walnut.
What's the date?
October 17th and 18th, I think, this year. I don't, it was 17, 18, I think.
I'll second motion.
Discussion? Roll call. Dan?
Yay.
Jeff? Becky?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You got it?
Another issue, I'm a little frustrated, maybe is a nice word. I pay my water bill every month, and every month it says I'm delinquent, and I'm not really sure how to resolve that. So I did call and I did talk that through with Trina, and come to find out, she tried to tell me that I didn't pay it in December, and I'm like, 4 months later before I figure out that you're telling me I didn't pay in December. I have the check, I paid it in December. She has no record of it. I'm not being mean, I'm not being accusatory, I'm just a little frustrated because partially my fault. It shouldn't take me 4 months to realize that that's what it was from, but I'm so used to, even though I pay it on time, I don't know if it don't get processed, I don't know what happens. It continually says I'm delinquent, so I just pay what I know I owe for the month and keep on going. But the other day I finally decided, I thought, this is stupid, I'm gonna call. And I did talk to her through it. She had no record of my check, it never cashed, she don't know. So how would you like me to handle that?
Were there any late fees assessed?
I have no idea. I don't wanna say I can't understand the bill, but I don't know.
Just rewrite a check for that and bring it down. You shouldn't be charged anything.
If you have a copy of the check,
She said it was.
I pay 2 water bills, and I always put both bills with both checks in one envelope and drop it.
So she didn't,
She processed one and not the
so
other.
she didn't process the other one and add it to your other account?
No.
Does
She
she,
didn't process.
does your bank take pictures of your checks?
Yeah, no, it never cleared my bank.
It never clicks.
It's never cleared my bank. So I
Okay.
think she probably took one out, maybe
Okay.
the other one got trashed, just not really thinking about 2 being in there or something, but, I don't know. I don't think I have any late fees at this
If you
point.
do have late
I don't-
fees, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll waive those for
It's
you.
just a continual issue.
I wanted to add to that on the water bill.
Do you want-
Yeah, I can come on.
what's your name?
I'm Connie Richards. I live at 75 South 2nd Street. Lived there for over 20 plus years. My water bill never missed a payment, never knew it was an option not to pay one. I've gone in, paid consistently. When they missed the payments, all of a sudden my bill jumped up Immediately, I noticed when that first bill come in, it was reading for 5 months. Even though I paid those months, I had no bill before that. Rusty come down, I dug it out in the snowstorm, he come down, checked, we had no leaks. And then I called Dan, and Rusty's come down, he's replaced my meter and stuff, and we're gonna see now if that fixes the problem. I don't think that it is, because even when I went back and gave her the message after I talked to Dan to see what we're gonna do, because it's saying my water bill is 22,000 usage a month. And my usage before was only 3,000 to 4,000 a month. And my water bill is $700 a month. And I can't afford that, and all that is being accumulated to my bill. And I asked her, I said, hey, if Rusty's right and replacing the meter's not the issue, there is no leaks, it's gotta be computer issue or what's going on. She said it might be Fisco or whatever that is. She has not even called them to figure out if the readings that they're having is because the way when the meters first got put in, she thinks it might be an issue there, but she hasn't called. I'm not getting no answers, I'm getting the past
The way
back
the
and
meters
forth.
is put in is not the issue.
Right now, I spoke with the meter company, and they advised me what would happen if the meters were not working. I am waiting on a call back from Software Solutions that processes the other side of the water, and I'm hoping, I had to wait for them to get a hold of Trina for her to let them know I was a council member, I was who I was saying I was, and now I'm waiting on them to call me.
But I've never missed a payment, and even like someone said the deposit was supposed to be somewhere on the water bill. I paid my deposit 20 years ago when Becky was there. And I've never missed a payment, never. And I'm worried now that all this is accumulating. At some point, that needs to be cleared up. I'm still paying my normal bill every month. There's no bank issue, I pay cash, I keep receipts. And I have 20 years of pay history. I even asked for like pay history receipts. She doesn't know how to do that, to print out my pay history of what I paid, to show that
Did you
I'm
say she
never.
doesn't know how to do that?
No.
She just did that Monday for a different resident.
I asked for it, and at the time, she said she wasn't for sure how to do it, they were having issues, blah, blah, blah. But I even asked just to go back to make sure that they had proof of all my payments, and I had a record, because I don't want to end up with $2,000 water bill on something that I paid on time.
Well, in the meantime, what do you guys think about just allowing her to pay her regular amount until we get to the
Yes,
bottom?
that's what I've been
That's what
doing,
we told her.
but it's still showing an accumulation, and I don't want late fees to occur, or it's ruin my credit.
If
There will be
someone,
no-
like, you won't have any late fees on that.
Yeah, there will be no late fees. If we can get to the bottom of this, then it will be corrected and you'll be getting your standard.
Yeah, from what I've talked to and other people that I've watched online, I know his is reading 22,000. There's several of them that Trina's told me here in town. She gave me like a list that supposedly she gave to them. Everybody's meter is reading 22,000. So it can't be all the meters are bad.
Right.
It's gotta be something else.
Yeah,
And
she sent us a list this morning, and one of them said it was like 89,336,000 such and such.
And it varies.
It's not reading right.
yeah, and it's varying from 22,000 to
Give them
something.
a algorithm, somehow he was trying to explain it to me, but, I'm waiting on him to call me back too.
Yeah, because I talked to him and he said one of the problems might be that the code, the billing code in the meter software is not corresponding with the billing code in the billing software,
Yeah,
and that could be it.
could be.
So that's kind of why it's been being worked on.
Yeah, and that's just what I wanted to guarantee, that I'm not gonna get stuck when I'm paying my regular bill and what it has been for years. As long as I'm making my payments on time, and even though it's accumulating on my bill, I just want to guarantee I'm not gonna get stuck paying all that now.
You won't.
You won't, because we know it's something in the software. We've narrowed it down to it's something in the software. We just have to figure out what that is so we can fix it across Camden.
Okay, all right, well, thank you.
Thank you. I am sorry.
It's okay.
Anybody else?
I'll be number 4.
Okay.
Talking about the water bill. I'm Rob Day, and I live at 81 West Entrance. This is the 4th month I've been here. And again, my bill says that we used 81,000 or 8,100 gallons of water. My wife was afraid that we were gonna get shut off. Even though I told her that we talked and it wasn't gonna happen. So she paid the minimums for the last 2 months.
Okay.
Okay? Nowhere on my bill does it show that. Doesn't reflect any payment at all. And again, we're being billed about 3 times what our average usage has been.
The same, but then not show when you make your payment.
Do what?
You changed his meter, you read that for a week.
I read it also, put a new head on it, so he has no leak.
No.
When were those meters put in? When were the meter heads put in?
The meter heads last summer.
Yeah, like
Okay,
March.
since last summer, we've been having the same issue over and over and over.
It's
I don't
just-
understand if there's
It's
a problem with the
compounding, so it's continually getting worse, let's say that.
Were the heads actually, I mean, I'm assuming they were compatible with the.
Absolutely. So I talked to Rob Barber. He's the IT guy. Dan spoke with him, because I explained to him some of the issues we're having, and he said, because Trina were telling people the batteries were dead, the meter's no good. So the same equipment, Rob told me the same equipment is in villages and cities all around us. It's state-of-the-art equipment. Chances of failure is 1 in a million. So it's something to do with the billing. It's not the equipment.
Well, Lizzie just said that there's a software issue.
Something to, yes, it's not the equipment.
Yeah, and for months, we were being told, it's because she put in the meters, request for the meters, and Rusty wasn't talking to her. She passed a lot of that on Rusty, and that wasn't true, because I went to Rusty myself. And
Yeah.
I just wish the bills would be better readable. You
And
should be
they
able
don't-
to know that this bill, when I get a bill, it should tell me that I didn't pay it in December. It should tell you what the problem is. Like, I don't know.
So if your bill doesn't say like, previous balance is $100 and current balance is $100.
But you don't know what it's from, because if you go 6 or 7 months and your bill, it constantly has late, when you know it's not late, I just ignore it. I'll be honest, I ignore it. I'm like, screw it, I'm paying the amount I know I should pay.
There's not even a line item.
But there's
on there.
no good
line either.
information on there.
there's no, even when you pay your bill,
It says
it's
prior
not minusing
balance,
it from the
Current
amount.
balance and total due.
Yeah, it's not even minusing it. It's not showing you made a payment. I started paying cash, so I got hand receipts, because I don't know what else to do.
Well, that's an issue with the billing company that we probably need to correct.
Yeah, well, Lizzie's talking to this too.
Yeah, I've talked to Trina about software solutions and information being clearer on bills on Monday. Because I had gotten a few different residents that needed to be talked to. I needed to talk to her about their water bills because they were having issues. And as chair of the water, I've really tried to focus on the water department and how to alleviate it. So I'm trying to work with Trina, I'm working with Rusty, I'm working with the different companies and trying to troubleshoot things.
But we get it, you're good, I'm gonna turn your water off.
Can I ask something? Why haven't they hired someone else to help or maybe split that position?
We have an
into
ordinance
two?
on here to vote on today to separate that position, to have a fiscal officer and a separate utility clerk. That's on the agenda at this meeting. We just haven't got to that point yet.
Yeah, because she says she works all this and that she doesn't get time off and I feel bad for her and it's a lot of this and that, but at some point there needs to be someone else in there to help or to do something. That needs major help.
Liz, I know someone who's been in here 2 months in a row and they haven't even gotten a bill and they come in to pay and there's no balance.
I know, we had when we did shut-offs, I was getting plenty of calls from people that it was never put in their name, they were never,
This person has been
they've
paid.
lived here like 4 months, never received a bill. One had lived here less than a month. She hadn't even received her first bill, she hadn't been here long enough. The water department has been a major catastrophe, for lack of a better word, which is one reason I've worked really hard on getting this ordinance typed up for us to separate that so we can get some help in here and get somebody else trained in the water and take over the water department. I'm hoping that can pass.
People move into the area like in Reynolds, if they don't come in here and set up the account.
No, the issue is though, I spoke with the manager of Quail Creek. Quail Creek said that he regularly calls Trina. They have a great working relationship, but the problem is when he says, this address, and this address, they've moved out, they no longer live here. She does not send Rusty to shut off that account. She leaves it rolling, so when the next person moves on, they turn on their faucet, water works, nobody tells them otherwise, so they just keep using it. And that is not a singular event. When I spoke to him, he said it was a constant battle to get her to update the information on the account so the proper person was being billed and there wasn't getting junk from previous people.
That wouldn't be an issue if there were shut-offs.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. If we did shut-offs, you might get a month on us, and we're gonna shut you off, and you're gonna have to come in and set up an account.
Right.
But because we've only done shut-offs 3 times in 3 years, you know, it's been let go for a long time.
I didn't even know there was an option to miss a month pay here.
There isn't an option. There's a policy in place.
That's why, I know, I lived in Camden long enough, my bill comes, it's due the 15th every month, it's usually the same. Bill with no bill, I go down and pay it. You know?
The only shut-offs that are the only accounts that are being shut off are those that are months and months behind on their bills.
And that's what scared me about all this going on, because it's not, I got a leak in the water, I paid my bill, it's just an error. And 1 month I might use 22,000, next month I might use 83. And I know before I only used 3,000 to 4,000 a month. And I can't afford the $800 a month water bill.
No one can.
Yeah.
You haven't had to pay the $800 a month. You just pay your minimum, so that's,
Yeah, I just don't want to get stuck with that bill.
we're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. Is actively being, multiple steps being taken to try to get this resolved.
All right, anybody else? Very good. Committee reports.
Or we had to, the mayor may or may not have forgot to tell Trina to post the water committee meeting. And so we didn't get it posted, so it got canceled, so we have to reschedule it. So I'm just gonna work directly with her and Debbie Mason from now on, so it doesn't get forgotten.
That's a good idea.
May or may not, but, so we don't have any updates. I send them information, I'm gathering records, we're still waiting on some records.
Okay.
I got something on that. I'm gonna have a building committee meeting on April 23rd at 6 p.m.
You might want to send a message to Debbie Mason.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Very good. All right, staff reports. What do you got?
I have a couple things.
First thing, tell me what I want to talk about.
Flags. So all the flags we hang up here in town, they last about 3 years and they fade out and they start looking kind of. So we're at that point to replace flags and some of the hardware to hang the flags, a new POW flag, state flag, all that. To replace all those, you're looking at like $2,200. If council wants me to replace
Is that
those.
one each or is that multiple?
That's for every
That's
single
every
flag.
That's 30 flags plus the state flag, the POW flag, and some hardware. Because it's all plastic and the sun dries the hardware out, the clips and stuff, and everything.
How much was that? How much was that?
Replacement.
It's about $2,200.
Jeff made a motion.
I'll second it.
discussion? Roll call. Dan says.
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Lizzie?
Yes.
And also, I had a couple of prices to demo the house that was burnt down on South Main. The best one is actually, Zach. I couldn't come up with it for a minute. Zach Buell. So, and that, I think it was 14.8 to take the house down. And then he'll grade the lot off.
Okay, 1410.
Do it.
How much?
14.8.
14.8.
I make a motion that we hire Zach Buell for the $14,800 and make sure that it gets assessed to that property's taxes so that we can get reimbursed.
Will he do all the cap offs and everything for
Yeah.
natural gas and water?
Well, not natural gas. If there's gas there, it'll call Synergy or CenterPoint Energy, whoever it is.
Okay.
And they'll take care of that. But as far as the water and sewer, he'll take care of. Yeah.
I guess my question is that house a public danger right now?
Yes.
It sets off, that house sets off the sidewalk.
It is off the sidewalk.
Here's the problem. We have a sheet of metal that every time it blows, it is getting closer and closer and flying off. We have a resident, Nicole Moses, that is homeless until we get this property taken care of so that repairs to the blue house can be taken care of. And she spent $30,000 to house all of her belongings for 4 months, and we've already wasted over a month.
Why isn't her insurance taken care of?
Why doesn't her insurance step in and take care of the bill, and her insurance can go after that homeowner?
We already made a motion to do this. We made a motion at the last meeting to demolish the house and pay for it, and it passed, and now all we needed was these numbers. We have a resident that's like homeless until we finish what we started.
I didn't remember voting on that. But
Yeah.
I have the YouTube video.
I'm just asking because here's my concern.
She has insurance to fix her house, but insurance only pays so much, and those houses were butted up to each other just inches apart. They cannot fix the side of her building without getting rid of that burnt building, and it is a safety hazard. I live on
Her
it.
house is not the one that was burned.
I know. I understand.
It caught fire from the main house.
Was there a fire in the attic?
I understand that. But then if we pay for this one, then we're setting it up so the next person that doesn't have insurance.
But he didn't have insurance.
Exactly.
Correct. That's what let me finish saying. So if people don't have insurance and their house burns and it damages their neighbor's house, then are we gonna be on the hook to demolish all the houses?
But we already made a motion to demolish this house and assess it to the taxes.
I'm just asking the question.
If it's that bad, then they can come to council and ask council. I
No,
mean,
all I'm doing is asking the question because I can see where this is gonna go because people will get the idea. I don't need
Village
homeowners
will end up
insurance.
owning that piece of property.
Huh?
The village will end up owning that piece of property.
yeah, that's just what'll happen.
And we'll sell it.
But I'm just saying, moving forward, if people get the idea that they don't need homeowners insurance because the village will come in and clean up. That's my only concern. with it.
I mean-
I don't mind helping people out, but I would want to know why her insurance wouldn't take care of it, then go after the homeowner. That's my question.
I don't know a single insurance company that will demolish your neighbor's house just to fix your house. They try to not spend money, not spend more money. But we took it on our responsibility when we accepted that motion. When it passed, we took responsibility for it. And now by not having meetings and delaying, this needs to get handled because we have a homeless family right now.
And I feel sorry for them. But I'm just, all I want to do is I'm just saying that this could, I hope it doesn't.
I mean, I hope it doesn't either, but it's case by case. So, I mean, if we end up in a situation, then it'll get assessed to their taxes, and if they don't pay it, then we go through the process of whatever happens
That's
then.
fine. I mean, I'm just saying, we're opening up this Pandora's box right now. in my opinion.
Well, I feel like it's already been opened, so, and we might as well finish it.
Maybe when they rebuild, they shouldn't be, so.
Well,
I don't think they're planning on building.
that's why we have the setbacks, and typically when there's remodel done, if it's done through the permitting process, there's typically a firewall that has to be added. A lot of things don't get permitted, they don't go through the inspection process, and I don't know whether these houses, when they were remodeled, whether that happened or not, I don't know, I can't say.
I mean, these houses were so old that
But they were recently remodeled.
hers was.
So part of that, if everything was permitted, there would have been a firewall that would have had to been installed in there to prevent a jump over. I mean, that is standard in the construction.
What about the other house, on the other side?
I don't know. I spoke to them. They had no mentions either.
Oh my God.
Do they own or rent?
They
People own?
They own.
So is that another one we're gonna have to tear down?
Totally.
No, it's not.
There was-
That one is not, I mean, the main house is just literally charcoal and metal.
Well,
That
that's-
house is at least on the outside.
Well, there was someone interested in purchasing that house. I hope those two together right in the middle of that.
What about the barn that never got finished?
They work on it about once a year.
The red barn,
Yeah,
it's finished except for some front doors.
well, they need to be done.
We'll give you their number.
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess-
working on it. It's been a long, drawn out process. So everything goes to California.
I know.
So they
So,
made a motion to pay Jack Bill 14.8.
I made a motion, I just need a second.
I'll second it.
All right, Dan Stapleton,
Yay.
Jeff Steele,
Nay.
Becky,
Yeah.
Susie.
Yes.
just one other thing, just for your info, I lost the pump at the lift station yesterday. I had to bring PCI in with a crane, pull that pump and replace it. I already had the pump, I think the pump's $1,200. His cost was $770 to come in. And he did part of the work, we did part of the work, so it's all fixed and back to normal. I don't need it. That needs, at some point in time, we need to address that, because it's, anything else you?
I have a question. So the house on 725, 541 West Central, we're completely done there, right?
Yes.
Got the bill?
Yes.
Do you know if the taxes have been assessed yet?
I do not know. She has the bill, she paid them, so I don't know if there's a such.
Can you ask her for a copy of the letter if she has done that, please?
And it looks like more stuff has been moved back in.
The front,
It still looks like it.
it does, but we really couldn't do with it because the judge would let us take like decorations, things that were considered decorations, so much decorations. There were two recliners, indoor recliners, that had been on the porch for years. And they threw it, so they took my house, so those are not my house. But we took 17 roll-offs and 18 cars out of it. I was up there multiple times, Matt was up there multiple times, it was a challenge. So you definitely, the backyard's cleaned out, the front still looks like a lot of clutter and stuff, but we did remove a ton, several tons. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you can get that demo scheduled and call them tomorrow.
Yes, I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Thank you.
Matthew.
Yes, sir.
A question on the cybersecurity policy. Is that available for record request?
No, that is not a public record.
It's not. You say
It was on the cover, first page, right under the title.
Supervised Code 964 says why it's not, or that is not, it's obvious why it's not. We don't want people who are trying to hack, and we don't want them to know what we're doing to prevent that.
Thank you.
And then I can change the date on there from the one that I gave you guys.
So we need a motion.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to accept the cybersecurity policy.
yeah, Camden Technology Disaster Recovery Cybersecurity Incident Response Policy.
I'll second that.
Second. Dan,
Yeah.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Maggie,
Yes.
Lizzie.
Yes.
One other thing, Becky, do we need a resolution for this? When that's everybody signed it?
This is a new one.
This is a new one.
Yeah, you'll need a,
Is that something we have to do next time?
if it can wait until then.
Yeah, it can.
We'll have to sign a number to it. Yeah.
It's the new contract for the school is what it is. So everyone has signed it, the board and the mayor. So I can scan it and forward it
And
to you
that's all
guys.
paid to run school.
Yeah, can you scan that and send it?
Was there an increase in that?
Yes.
Good, okay.
Anything else?
So unless you guys have something.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. for that.
You and all your officers doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. We had if there was any talk about several police cars behind the school the other day, no one at the school was in danger at any moment, or we would have locked the school down. There was some drug traffickers in that area.
I see it.
We arrested 2 of them on felony 2 trafficking of drugs in a school, felony 3 possession. It was a joint operation with the Preble County Sheriff's Office.
Congratulations.
Has she ever come before council meetings?
No, he just starts forgetting to do
I don't
that.
know if
I never
council
met
is, you never met her? Vanessa, they want to meet you.
Vanessa, come on down. Feel the ball worker.
This is Vanessa
I know
Ely.
your name. You better watch it.
Vanessa Ely, we hired her, I think January 24th, full-time. 13-year veteran, came to us from Middletown, lifelong Preble County resident. I get all that right? Very great officer, is what I was supposed to say. She does a great job. So,
Did you work with Terry Strauss? Or Terry Ballinger?
Mountain.
Yes.
It was actually my FTO in Middletown.
Ah, okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Move on. You got,
The ordinance is down. I looked it up because they were going to go into this emergency. I just have to read the titles.
okay.
Can we go ahead?
Yeah, there.
Okay. Village of Camden, Preble County, Ohio, ordinance number 1053-2026, an ordinance separating the duties of the fiscal officer into 2 positions by establishing the position of utility clerk, defining duties, and declaring an emergency. I make a motion to approve.
I'll make a second.
Just the one saying different reimbursements.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't.
Okay. That was for.
1053.
46, okay. All right, discussion?
Yeah, okay. Financially, can we add the extra position?
Well, by separating the positions, because she was, our current fiscal officer is paid $25 an hour to be fiscal officer and water clerk. So that will have to be adjusted And so once we get through these motions, a motion has to be made on a pay scale.
But if we, but
And then she will be able to apply for whichever side she wants.
so no matter what we do, there's gonna be benefits that have to be paid, so there will be an increase to the budget, is what I'm getting.
No, the fiscal officer will be full-time, the water clerk will be part-time.
But the water clerk will still receive, even though she's part-time, they'll get the perks of like the paid time off.
No, they won't.
Because
Not
she-
part-time, not
No
part-time.
part-time.
Nope, just hers. Just hers.
Well, but that's an additional cost if we're paying into PERS.
I mean, I think that our residents have made it very clear that we need help in the office.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that one bit. I'm just saying, because we brought up increasing the chief's wages, and it was, well, we need to wait because we don't know if we have the money.
Well, part of this.
Because he's salaried, so it doesn't cost us anymore, but he's worked 600 hours of overtime in the last 3 years.
Well, I mean, after this is done, then we'll be reducing the fiscal officer's hourly rate to help balance out for a new water clerk.
Well,
Because we're separating it, we have to modify pay, so she'll have to decide which side she
So I don't think you're gonna get anybody that's gonna come down here and work for
There are people interested.
$12.50 an hour.
And
I mean, that's all I'm asking. Is financially, because do we have the money to do it?
I mean, from what little bit of information that we're able to get in forms of financial records, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. If we don't do it, we're screwed. If we do it, we might be.
And then it balanced out with reducing the overtime.
I mean, she won't have as much overtime, so that'll help. She won't have any.
And I'm not denying that, but I wanted to give the chief a small raise.
And he deserves it.
And it was basically, I was told, we don't know where we are financially, which his raise will be less than what we're getting ready to spend on administration. That's all I'm asking.
Oh, I get it. But yeah, I think at some point, as taxpayers, that we should have a say so. Our chief does deserve a raise. I agree with that.
And
At
that's
the
the
same
same
point in
time.
time, as residents, as much as we pay on burritos in taxes, we should have a say on getting more help so we don't have the issues in the village. Our problems are getting solved. At some point, there are things we're gonna have to spend in our tax money. As taxpayers, we should get a vote and say, yes, our chief deserves it. Yes, we need another employee.
But there's already been an issue here with us, so I'm sorry we have to interrupt you. You got anything else you want? I mean, as far as money, I don't know if they got it or not. They would have to look at the budget and see, but I imagine we've got money to do it if they have to. It's gonna pass. Any more discussion?
Mayor?
It's public
We're
participation is done.
gonna have this first. All right. Dan,
Yay.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Becky,
Yeah.
Lizzie.
Yes. I make a motion to waive the 3 readings due to it labeled an emergency.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion? Dan?
I'm good. Yay.
Yeah.
I was paying attention over here, I'm sorry.
Becky?
Yes.
Lizzie?
Yes. Village of Camden, Preble County, Ohio, ordinance number 1054-2026, an ordinance clarifying the position of fiscal officer for the Village of Camden, Preble County, Ohio, due to the separation of duties and declaring an emergency. I make a motion to approve.
Any discussion?
Do I get a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Dan,
Yay.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Becky,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes, I make a motion to waive the 3 readings due to it labeled an emergency.
Dan.
Yay. Or I'll make the motion. Yeah.
Okay, you
I'll
second.
second. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Jeff,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes. And lastly, to finalize this whole process, making a motion to accept applications for both positions of reduced pay rate due to the separation of duties, making the fiscal officer full-time at $20 an hour and the utility clerk part-time at $18 an hour. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion? Dan,
Yay.
Jeff,
No.
Becky,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
3.
Because right there, we're increasing the budget.
Well, it's for an emergency reason. We are drowning in the water department. She can't do it. She is desperately needing help. She has been failing for 3 years. We have to do it. And we agreed after the audit was done, we would talk about their raises.
I'm talking about the money. Because like I said, because the chief doesn't get overtime. He's salary. And he hasn't had a bump in pay in over 2 years.
There's also raises that are still due from last year.
When we were shorthanded on officers, he covered those shifts. So I just feel it's right to give him an increase since he worked. I can tell you this.
The issue is, when we do his raise, we've got other people's raises to do in the police department as well. And so we all agreed to wait until after the audit for that. But this issue has consistently over the last 4 months gotten so bad that we have no choice but to do this. He will get a raise. Everybody agreed he could wait, because when he gets a raise, there's a couple other people that need raises in the department as well.
Okay, but
It will happen.
that's fine. I mean, because right now he saved us over $32,000 in 3 years because he's worked the overtime.
When we do raises, maybe make a motion for a bonus check to help accommodate it. Oh, am I still going with my stuff?
That was, your last one. Was for the money.
Right. Utility shut-off notification process is next. Me and Trina worked on that.
We only had 3 performance or revenue.
For which one? That one wasn't a resolution, that was, the ordinances. Which one are you talking about? That third one was about pay, that's not one.
That wasn't one of the ordinance.
No, that was a separate motion.
All right, very good. Utility shut-off notification process.
Trina had come to me and asked me if we could work on updating our shut-off procedures. Currently, we handwrite these tags, put them on people's doors. So I call around different municipalities. I would like to mimic Eaton's. I think it would be easier, it'd be more up to date. Trina agreed, she thought it was a great idea. They do a post like this one, once a month, and it says on there the date of the shut-off. It says to avoid disruption, please make your payment, and it explains where you can go to pay your payment, when the office hours are, etc. In my working out with them, they said they do put it on the bill's final notice for that last bill before shutoffs. So Trina is working with the billing, the actual bill company on how to add that for those. And she thought that, she agreed it would be fine to do just a once a month, one call, to alert people that if your bill is
You're not being cut
to
off.
avoid disruption of service, make a payment because shut-offs are gonna happen on such and such date. She would like to update this to what we kind of built to kind of mimic what Eaton does in some other municipalities. So I wanted to bring it forth to you guys, see what you guys thought. We wouldn't have to pay for, even if it's just a little bit, it would cut down on time to handwrite these. Rusty wouldn't have to go through them and match them up to addresses. We wouldn't have to purchase these, and we gotta save money every penny we can now that we're gonna have a new water clerk.
So we're gonna we'll have to purchase the handbills, won't we?
The what?
No, that'd be printed on the water bill.
Yeah, it'll be already on.
So we're not gonna put these door things on?
No, we won't.
Yeah, that's what she wants to get rid of, the door things, because they're time consuming to fill out. If we're only doing a few a month, it's fine, but
How are we gonna get her off?
they're gonna start, I asked the lady in Eaton, and she said they know it's off when they turn it on and nothing comes on. It is 2026. If you don't pay your bill, eventually it gets shut off. We have to get that turned back. So, do you guys, I make a motion to update the procedure of the shut-offs to, how do I word that?
The new.
To making a notice and put it on the
Bill
bill.
printed notice.
I'll second it.
Discussion? Dan?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Lindsay?
Yes.
We move up. Our summer part-time crew, 1099 employee proposal.
So I talked with Rusty, and with us adding the walking path to now, it needs cleaned up before it gets done. We have to weed eat and keep adding little things here and there and here and there and here and there. I wanted to try out a seasonal 1099 contract employee for the summer, just seasonal. The township does it for $16 an hour, 20 to 30 hours a week. We could do 20 to 25 and be fantastic. They're spending most of their time on the large equipment, doing things. If there's a main break, it pulls them away. This would really help the work crew since we can't afford a full-time fourth member.
I'm fine with that, but I'd rather than be part-time, 1099.
Well, this way, it's contracted, that we don't have to pay nothing.
Right, and I understand that, but when you look at the Ohio Revised Code, a lot of municipalities have gotten in trouble because if they're doing it as a 1099 employee, that means they're providing their own equipment. Once we dictate their schedule and they're using our equipment, then technically they'll become a part-time employee, not a 1099.
As well as their workers' comp and stuff. they're
The township
required to
does
do.
it, and they do it as a contract employee. As long as you're a contract worker, you're not.
But villages and townships are under, there's some different regulations there.
If I could say, I know this from experience, if you are a contract employee, you cannot tell them what time to be there and that. They come on their own, their own employee. If you tell them what time to be there and that, then they become an employee.
They become a part-time employee and they'll have to be covered under our workman's comp. Because if they're a true 1099 employee, that means they provide their own equipment, they provide this service to other places or other people, and they'll have to have their own insurance.
But if you contract them with somebody, you tell them what you want before you hire them.
Yeah,
This is what we want.
The contract for the township says you're a contract employee, you're gonna work 5 hours a day as needed at $16 an hour, and that your seasonal work, and that you're in charge of your taxes and all that. Like they literally lay it out in the contract.
Right. Well, when you sent out about the 1099 employees a month ago, I looked it up in the Ohio Revised. It is a slippery slope when we do that. And it's clearly stated that in order to do that, they have to provide that service to other people. We can't dictate their hours.
So how
And they
does
can't
the
use
township do
Just
it?
go to part-time.
That's why I said.
Just make it part-time.
That's why I
Let's
said,
look into it a little bit
let's
further
make
before we
it
do
part-time.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll look into it a little bit further.
I mean, it's,
I understand that the townships, and villages operate under a completely separate set of rules in a lot of cases.
so you're fine with it as long as it's just considered a part-time employee?
It should be a part-time employee because then they're using our equipment, they're using,
But how can we limit that to just seasonal?
Just hours, limit their hours and limit the
Can
season.
you still do it seasonally?
Yeah.
We only need it in the warm months.
yeah.
Okay,
That's
then,
what I'm trying to say. We can't do a 1099 because if they're a 1099, then when people do work for us, they have to have proof of insurance, so on and so forth.
I've talked about this.
Workers' comp.
Yeah, they have to have all that.
okay, then I make a motion to hire a seasonal part-time employee to assist the work crew at $16 an hour for 20 to 30 hours a week from May until, we think, October 1st,
That's fine.
hired by Rusty.
We could.
Can we table this till 2 weeks? And then let me do some research on it and I'll get with you and we'll do some research on it.
Okay.
Let's make sure we're making the right step.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, before we pay.
I know they need help, so.
Employee to do that, it
I'm not
helps you get their
denying
raise.
that.
Oh, I know.
But there's a lot of municipalities that have gotten in trouble
Yeah.
because it's cheaper to hire a 1099.
We'll figure out what.
All right.
We're gonna hire too many people until the law enforcement gets their raises. We get the fire department fix the immediate issues. If people's waited 2 years to get a raise and they saved the town money, they deserve compensated.
We've got that table for now, so we'll take care of it. All right, I'm sure we've got that. Fire department assistance on gear and equipment.
We get a TIF. That TIF can only be used for specific things. So, I spoke with Justin Summers and I spoke with the attorney that helped create the TIF. FYI, we never finished paying him, just so you guys know. They did write it off as a loss, but he was willing to talk to me anyway. And they said that fire gear for the department does qualify under the TIF as being able to be used. The fire department had applied for a grant, they did not get that grant, and they need 9 pairs of boots, a hot stick, a life pack battery, charging station, and a life pack battery.
How does that come to?
$10,480.20. But that $62,000 that we have sitting, that we've received from the TIF can only be used for specific things that meet the contract. This falls under there, so it would be, we'd be able to purchase these for the fire department and not affect our budget.
I thought you said he was good on boots at the last fire board meeting.
No, this email I had emailed to you guys. This came straight from Chris. This is what he's asking for. He needs nine pairs of globe boots.
Do you have a financial statement that says we have that money in the TIF fund?
Yes, I emailed it to everybody and I have it with me right now. The last 3 years we have, since January 1st of 2024, we have received $62,150.72 to the TIF fund.
What did we purchase that under for?
We haven't spent any of it.
We didn't bid any of it.
That hasn't been spent.
That'd be a good place to spend it.
Can that be used for infrastructure projects?
It can be used, yeah, it's economic development or police equipment and gear, fire department equipment and gear. I want to say there's like 10 or 12 different things we can use it for. But it is on the website to look it up if you want to see the TIF contracts. So, do you
Because I
guys?
know the lawn said there was something, that tip was set up differently than most tips.
Yeah, so the TIF,
Well, that's why I was
the
asking.
TIF for sleeting and storage is 0% for the first 15 years, and then they'll pay towards us. And then the other two, the way they're set up, this one falls in line with, what do they call it, downtown Eaton, the one with 50 parcels.
Yeah, that's the downtown corridor.
Yep, so that one specifically, I know we can use it for this fire department gear. So, I make a motion to spend $10,480.20 out of the TIF fund for necessary safety gear and equipment for the Camden Summers Township Fire Department.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second?
Yeah.
Roll call. Dan?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Becky? Lily?
Yay.
All right, that's it. See, Becky, you had something you wanted to amend on the...
Are we still in, are we on the, are we still on minutes?
That's all that was on the...
Are you done with business?
Yes. Yeah, something for the bit. That was all that was on the...
No, I was just gonna, no, go ahead.
I have one last thing. So, since January 1st, 2026, I've been listing issues that I have observed this year. We have an employee that has stopped submitting meeting minutes for council's approval at every meeting, resulting in a delay of posting to the public, refusal to submit agenda and draft minutes to council for review before every meeting, resulting in delay of review for approval, which is supposed to be done Mondays by noon on meeting weeks, stop submitting purchase orders, bills, invoices, and to council for approval at every meeting, which this time we got it stacked up because it wasn't given to us. Refusal to follow the motions passed by council regarding using a time clock until here recently, and at the March meeting didn't even give us our time sheet. Refusal to follow the motion passed by council to notify the village administrator when arriving late, leaving early or missing work, which results in the office being closed and no one knowing about it. Constant errors on employee payroll despite working here for 3 years. As of March 17th, Trina Bronson, fiscal officer, did not submit a W-3 form for an employee, Courtney Railsback, which resulted in her W-2 not being able to be authenticated and her delay on being able to file her taxes till the issue was fixed, resulting in possible fines and penalties since the deadline for the IRS is January 31st, which if so means paid for by Trina Bronson, not the village by law. Refusal to give records to council members on the water committee, resulting in us not being able to work properly, resulting in myself contacting the village attorney on behalf of the water committee and threatening a lawsuit just to get records 2 months after trying. Refusal to give council members records for the financial committee, resulting in delay of committee, which delays them helping Trina, fiscal officer, with the finance of the village and assisting with an accurate appropriation. Trina Bronson registered for the Ohio Local Officials Conference in Columbus, Ohio in 2025 and did not attend, and she also registered in 2026 and did not attend, but did ask for a refund, and I have not been notified whether that came in or not. Doing water clerk conversations with residents on text or Facebook Messenger, resulting in hiding of issues, and with residents, water bills, and working off the clock. Skipping attending council meetings. Refusal to give council lists on adjustments for the water accounts of residents. Although motion was passed, all water adjustments now have to be decided by council, not the fiscal officer. Has continued to do unapproved water adjustments to residents' utility accounts. Even after the motion was passed February 5th, that all water adjustments will be approved by council, other than one pool adjustment a year. Issues with the water utility accounts becoming a constant issue, rude to residents, refusal to help some residents with their utility questions, not answering phone calls, not charging late fees to every resident that's actually late, and not charging deposits to every rental, and not properly following procedures regarding vacant properties. Not doing monthly shutoffs for almost 3 years, and once doing March shutoffs, having over dozens of residents with issues due to not receiving water bills each month, not keeping water accounts up to date, not properly transferring addresses to the next resident once a person moves, shutting off accounts that were claimed to be paid up, and then having the work crew immediately go back and turn it all back on. Refusal to follow the schedule regarding processing utilities on appropriate dates, such as reading meters, sending information to billing companies, and doing shutoffs properly. Refusal to do water shutoffs for years, allowing residents to rack up mass debt, which is harmful to the residents long term. Mismanagement of funds of the March 2024 Keep Water Assistant Program by not adding individual credits to participating residents' individual accounts, and instead just did monthly adjustments, which does not properly track their available credit each month. Instead, continued to give credit adjustments as recently as 1/28/2026 by my records. Although the program manager, Yolanda, saying that the credit should only have lasted no more than 12 to 15 months per person. Refusal to give monthly cash management reports to council, not doing monthly bank reconciliations every month, never purchased the flowers for the Beautification Committee, which caused all kinds of issues, worked unapproved overtime despite the office closing many days a pay period early. She notified me on Monday that she just works whatever hours and puts down that her payroll is 80 hours per pay period, resulting in illegal off-the-clock work time and inaccurate payroll. And the fiscal officer's lunch is 12:30 to 1, but she closes 12:30 to 1:30, which goes against the policy. Consistently leaving early, especially on Fridays, and sending water bills late regularly, as recent as the bill due April 15th. Due to all of these issues, I feel that this employee has not met satisfactory employment and has neglected her duties. And I make a motion to terminate the employment of Trina Bronson immediately and require her to hand over all account information, usernames, passwords, village property, credit cards, keys, passcodes, etc., and having the mayor, any available council members, and an officer with body cam on to monitor Ms. Bronson's removal of her personal items from town hall to ensure no village property is removed.
Well, one, I think these discussions are supposed to take place in executive session. We've talked about that.
Well, you know what? It was for the full motion, so that everybody's aware of why I'm doing it. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Didn't you just pass an ordinance? Am I missing something? Didn't you just pass an ordinance, Lizzie, that you proposed to lighten the load and help the work of this individual?
And my plan is to help this village in any way that I can to benefit the success of our village.
Who would replace her? Who do you got trained?
I've got a question for the audience. How many infractions did you just listen to?
A lot.
How many?
I didn't
We're putting up with this month after month after month. This is why I got on council, to clean this mess up.
I'm not saying it don't need cleaned.
This is a mess.
And I agree. But what I'm saying is, you just passed an ordinance to add a position to help.
Did you hear the second part of
and now you want to turn
taking
around,
resumes?
and now you want to turn around and fire this individual that you recognized
I listed out
needed.
infractions.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish.
You're actually speaking out of turn.
I'm not talking to you.
You're speaking.
Public participation is over.
You gotta watch for a lawsuit.
We have
This is
to
supposed to
carry
be
on.
done in executive session.
Dan opened up this meeting by saying you can't make a statement.
Hey,
All right.
public participation's over.
We cannot make motions and vote inside of an executive session. That is against the law. The motion has to be made out here, the vote has to be done out here. This is public record. You guys deserve to know exactly why the motion was made.
Okay, the motion was made, motion was seconded. Discussion is over. Dan?
Yay.
Jeff?
No.
Becky?
Let me just say, I am not in agreement with how this is being done,
That's why I voted no.
but this has had to happen for a long time. So my vote is yes.
Lily?
Yes.
3 votes don't carry.
not-
You gotta have fun.
It's not an ordinance. It's a motion.
I know, but to remove an official, it has to, okay? You got your votes. You didn't get enough, according to attorneys.
This will be discussed in executive session.
Does anyone have anything else to go?
Yeah, I've got one. I've got a resolution here.
You got a resolution,
Yeah, I do.
why is it on?
On
You got another resolution? These are supposed to be on the agenda.
the agenda.
If it's an emergency.
Well, was it just an emergency today? Go ahead.
Okay, this resolution is authorizing the immediate engagement of a temporary fiscal officer to ensure continuity in fiscal operations, waiving the 3 reading requirement and declaring an emergency. Whereas the Village of Camden is currently undergoing a transition of office of fiscal officer. The fiscal officer is a critical stationary position responsible for the lawful receipt, custody, disbursement, and reporting of public funds pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, including section 73.262. Whereas any disruption in fiscal operation may result in non-compliance, audit findings, and fiscal risk to the village. Whereas the council finds it necessary to immediately secure qualified professional assistance to maintain continuity and compliance during this transition.
Ain't that redundant to what you've just passed on the 2 ordinances to separate that? You're gonna be hiring,
We have to hire a fiscal, won't you let me finish this?
but you're repeating what you.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
There's going to be a space in between us hiring, taking resumes and hiring somebody else for those 2 jobs.
Okay.
So what this does is in an emergency right now, we could go and hire a temporary fiscal officer to take care of our payroll. Our payroll's coming up in a week. Who's going to take care of it?
Well, I don't know. It would be somewhere in the state would have to come down.
They have
State has-
traveling fiscal officers that help.
You said call them.
Let me finish. Now therefore be resolved by the Council of Village of Camden, Crawford County, Ohio, Section 1. Council hereby authorizes the immediate engagement of a qualified temporary fiscal officer and a financial professional to perform and assist with all required fiscal duties during the transition period. This engagement is intended to ensure continuity in operations and maintain compliance with the Ohio law and assist in the orderly transition and training of a permanent fiscal officer. Council shall proceed with a recruitment and appointment of a permanent fiscal officer, and the temporary engagement shall remain in effect until such time as a permanent officer be selected and properly positioned. Section 4, compensation terms of engagement shall be approved by council in accordance with Ohio Revised Code. Section 5, council retains full authority to modify, terminate, and adjust the terms of temporary engagement at any time by majority vote. Section 6, the requirement of the 3 separate readings is hereby waived due to the necessity for the immediate action. This resolution, section 7, is declared an emergency measure to make, and shall take effect immediately on passage. Do I have a motion?
Did anybody get a copy of this before the meeting?
No.
Then I suggest you give everybody a copy of that, let them read it, let's go over it before we vote on anything like that. Some people, because you've got several different positions in there, and nobody knows what you're talking about. I know you want to hire somebody right now, but you went through a whole list of things. Let's just look it over.
That's fine. I just don't want to wait 2 weeks to hire somebody else.
You can't hire somebody else because the motion didn't pass.
All right, okay.
All right. Approval of minutes, you want to,
The minutes for,
2 points?
the special meeting, February 26th are incorrect. So I will table the February 26th special meeting minutes until they are corrected.
February 26th?
Yeah. And I make a motion to do such.
Motion?
I'll second that.
Roll call. Dan?
Yeah.
Jeff? Becky?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Now, any others? February 5th, January 15th. We don't have them.
Oh, yeah, all we have is 3 of them. And you say, that's the special one, that's the February. Yeah,
Okay.
this one was a single page, but we just tabled.
Okay.
We don't have the other ones.
We need, but that we need.
We have February 5th and all of that.
Okay, so that's been,
Yeah.
February 5th.
February 5th we have.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept February 5th minutes.
Do I have a second? Is there a reason we don't, something on that one we don't want?
This is why we need these given to us by the Monday.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call. Dan?
Nay.
Jeff? Becky?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Okay.
So we still need January 15th, January 30th, and April 10th.
We don't have
Well, we're on here, but we're not on here.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We got first for payroll. Do we have payroll? Or
They're right here.
They decide?
No.
Give you a motion to,
The stack, literally the stack was given to us and we
Okay.
were trying to work through it.
do I have a motion for the payroll? Pay the employees.
Make a motion, approve payroll.
I'll second it.
Dan?
Yay.
Jeff?
Yay.
Becky?
Yes.
Lily?
Yes.
Okay, purchase orders.
I make a motion that we accept the purchase orders except for the two I gave you.
Okay. Lily?
He has them.
No second.
I'll second it.
All except for the
Lily too.
Helping Hands program and the
Walking back.
walking path. Those need to be checked over.
Okay. Dan?
Nay.
Jeff?
Yay.
Becky?
Yes.
Lily?
Yes.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I do have one thing that I want on record. A couple meetings ago. There it is, sorry. I was approached by several people, and I brought up that my personnel file and my payroll records were missing. And the mayor had informed me that he was told I took my own personnel file and payroll records when I left in April of 2023, which was incorrect. I want for the record, and I want you to know.
I'm the one who told you that we knew where your record was, that they did find it.
First you told me.
First I told you what I
Yes.
heard from the
Yes.
previous people.
I just want you to know, and I want it on record, that I was informed that Trina Bronson had my personnel file and my payroll records the entire time. And I think that was wrong, because she knew that I was looking for them. And that's what I want on record.
Okay. She said different,
She told me personally, she had my file the entire time. That's what she told me. So,
Very good.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We already did that. Kind of fast.
I'll second that.
Dan?
Yeah.
Becky?
yes.
Jeff?
Yay.
Lily?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Let me go find those.
What is the paragraph?
I can stop.
That just happened today. They called a squad for yesterday, and we're going to have dialysis if we're going to. Yeah, we miss you.
Yeah, well.